Hey there, St. John's. I hope all of you 6th, 7th, and 8th graders are staying safe out there in what was a very crazy week. Here we are, we're in music class. We have a lot of super exciting things planned for today. We're not going to do a round today, but we are going to learn a traditional spiritual song. And we are also going to talk today about the roots of American jazz music. So, without further ado, follow me to the piano, and we will be doing some warming up. All right, so here we are at the piano. Before we get started with some singing, we are going to do a sitting stretch to start off for today. So I want you to do the same thing that we normally do. I want you to reach up towards the ceiling, reach, 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 reach. Keep your back nice and straight, and I want you to kind of take it out of your shoulders a little bit. Continue to reach, but you want to make sure to, of course, to keep this area out of it. So reach, 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 wiggle your fingers, wiggle your fingers. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to grab your elbows, and I just want you to hold your stretch like this for just a second, and just kind of feel that stretch. Now I want you to do what I want you to do is I want you to slide down your arm, and I want you to kind of clasp your hands together like this, put it in back of your head, and I want you to just kind of pull in the opposite directions. You should feel this stretch in your back area, and just keep breathing and just try to be firm, but don't pull too hard. And take a big breath in. And let it all go. All right, and give your shoulders a roll. Your shoulders a roll, and then shoulders forward, shoulders forward. And now I want you to see if you can isolate your head and just do that gradual roll. And then go the other way. And come up to the center and let your head drop to one side. And I want you to see if you could have your arm kind of float up like this and just kind of rest on your head. So not really like yanking or pulling, but just kind of letting your hand just kind of rest on the top of your head like this. And take a big breath in and let it go. Come to the center and do the exact opposite thing on the other side. Take a big breath in and have your other arm kind of float up and rest on the side of your head, just kind of gently, gently, gently tugging. Take a big breath in and let it go. Give your head like one last kind of nod to the side, nod up and down. And you are ready to go. All right, so we're sitting down. Make sure that you've kind of got a nice straight posture. It's kind of easy when we sit because we're so used to kind of slouching at our desks or slouching on the couch or kind of slouching when we're like eating lunch with our friends and all that other kind of stuff. So what we want to do is we want to really make sure that you sit on your sit bones, and your sit bones are kind of like little bones that are kind of like in your bottom, that are kind of like, by navigating with them, you kind of you're able to kind of it at least helps me sit up straight. So I don't know how to explain that anymore, but anyway, you can visualize your back being comfortably straight, your shoulders being back, and your head being nice and balanced. All right, so the first one that we're going to do, actually, let's start down here, okay? And we're just going to go back to our old za. So nice, strong za, and then open to the ah, and keep the ah speaking through the entire thing. All right, so ready, set, here we go. Za, 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 it there. That's more than good enough. Now we are going to go into our tongue twister portion. And the tongue twister that I have for you today is a pretty common tongue twister, but you may not know it. And it's called Fuzzy Wuzzy Was a Bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't really fuzzy, was he? So, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? All right? So, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? All right? Try saying that a million times really fast. That's the kind of the point of it, right? So, repeat after me just to make sure that you have it confidently. It's kind of hard to hear you through this video. So repeat after me. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Good. One more time. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Good. Now let's try to put it all together. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Good. All right. And so this exercise goes like this. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? So again, Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, what was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't fuzzy, was he? That's enough, wouldn't you say? All right, there's that. And there is another one that I'd like to do today. We've done this one before, but it's been a while. It goes, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, doo. All right, so Scooby-Dooby-Doo, 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 wait a second. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Sorry, lost it for a second there. So it goes Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, doo. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, Scooby-Dooby-Doo, doo. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, 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 doo. 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 And we are going to stop right there with that with that scale. And again, just as a reminder to you, if you ever feel like we're getting a little too high for you and you can't quite manage your breath, or you can't quite you feel like you can't quite hit the note, I would much rather you drop out a little bit earlier. After giving it a fair shot, because I don't want anybody to hurt themselves or strain their voices. Okay, so but give it a try if you can. All right, now, an oldie but a goodie. Here we go. Many mumbling mice are making merry music in the moonlight, mighty nice. Many mumbling mice are making merry music in the moonlight, mighty nice. Many mumbling mice are making merry music in the moonlight, mighty nice. Many mumbling mice are making merry music in the moonlight, mighty nice. Many mumbling mice are making merry music in the moonlight, mighty nice. One more. Many mumbling mice are making merry music in the moonlight, mighty nice. All right, and that is it for our vocal exercises. We are just going to finish with one last easy peasy siren. So take or roller coaster, take a big breath in and go, oh. I'm going to give my tongue a little bit of a stretch too. I think my tongue needs that today. So, ah. Remember, we take the tip of our tongue, put it behind your front teeth on the bottom, and just stretch and say ah. Ah. Oof, really needed that. Needed that stretch in my jaw and also my stretch in my tongue. So anyway, follow me to the singing area. Hey there, everybody. So here we are. The song that we're going to be working on today is called Wade in the Water, and it is a call and response song with a chorus. And what I mean by that is call and response is just how it sounds. There is a call or a caller, oftentimes a soloist, a single voice, and they sing something, and then the entire group responds. Now, sometimes they copy what the soloist says, and sometimes they come up with something completely different. That is going to be what we are going to do. We're going to come up with something a little bit different, but it is consistent, which is good. So this song, the chorus goes like this. It goes, wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. All right, and that is the first part. So, wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Okay? That's the first part, the chorus. Now, the last part of that, God's gonna trouble the water, is gonna come in with our call and response parts. So, for instance, the soloist will say, see that band all dressed in white, God's gonna trouble the water. So, see that band all dressed in white, God's gonna trouble the water. All right? Gods are gonna trouble the water. I'll try to give you a nod of my head, but you kind of feel it out after a while. And we are going to sing 3 verses of this song, plus a repeat of the first verse of the chorus, rather, not the entire verse. So the soloist goes, "See that band all dressed in white. Gods are gonna trouble the water. The leader looks like the Israelites. Gods are gonna trouble the water." So your part, when we get into call and response, your part is always the same, which is good. You just have to kind of listen for the soloist, and when the soloist comes in, they're going to sing something short, and then you're going to come in right away. So let's just review the chorus one more time. Actually, why don't we just go through the entire thing just one time, slowly, and see how we do. Okay? So it starts with a little bit of an introduction. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. Gods are gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in white. Gods are gonna trouble the water. The leader looks like the Israelite. Gods are gonna trouble the water. All right, how did you do? Pretty good? You know that I made a little bit of a mistake on that last section, but we will give it another try. We'll try it again. Your part doesn't change. The soloist parts change. So chorus remains the same, and your response stuff remains the same. But the soloist part does change. The second verse that goes, "See that band all dressed in red. Gods are gonna trouble the water. It looks like the band that Moses led. Gods are gonna trouble the water." And then wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. Gods are gonna trouble the water. Third verse. Jordan's water is chilly and cold. Gods are gonna trouble the water. It chills the body, but not the soul. Gods are gonna trouble the water. And then wade in the water. All right, one last time. Okay, excellent. I think that we are ready to go. So from the introduction. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. Gods are gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in white. Gods are gonna trouble the water. The leader looks like the Israelite. Gods are gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade in the water, children, wade in the water. Gods are gonna trouble the water. See that band all dressed in red. Gods are gonna trouble the water. It looks like the band that Moses led. Gods are gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water, wade gonna trouble the water. Jordan's water is chilly and cold. God's gonna trouble the water. It chills the body but not the soul. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Good job. That song is known as a song that may be one of our controversial message songs, kind of like Follow the Drinking Gourd, where popular lore has it that in order to guide the slaves to their way to the Underground Railroad and to kind of give them the right conditions for escape, there were supposedly these songs that carried hidden messages. And that is controversial. There is some evidence to dispute that, but Wade in the Water is one of those songs. So if you want to look into that a little bit more, it should be really interesting. We're going to go over here right now. We're going to start our discussion of American jazz music and the roots of American jazz and some of the figures that helped develop it. All right.